Gpaw Adventures do St. Louis.
We're going to the Angad Arts Hotel. We think that's how you say it.
We don't know, but we're gonna find out. There it is, Angad Arts Hotel. That's where we're headed tonight.
Your destination is on the right.
There's valet parking only. You pull in from Sam Shepherd Drive, and an attendant will take your vehicle and give you a receipt for it. And you basically enter from what seems like the back of the hotel. And you can tell right away you're in for a different experience here. You can see the figures on the fire escape there. That's really cool. And to the side over here is a sculpture made out of suitcases, some even on the ground. So this is not going to be your normal hotel. And there's art on the wall, paintings and sculptures, a big moose head, sweet beef, photography, a sculpture, arrangement of chairs that I'm sure is functional if you wanted to sit down. And don't just walk by this wall of doors and windows. Pull on the handles and see which one's open, because there's a lot of cool things behind them. Somebody looking back at you there. And this one has moving water and headphones. So we're gonna try those out. And you can hear the sound of the waves. And this one just has a little peephole, so I'm kind of worried. Looks like little dots or stars floating away from you. And there's clouds floating by the window. And a disco ball. And that one looks like it curves on into infinity and beyond. What is art but seeing the world in a different way? And what is life but a series of experiences connected together? Angad Paul. And they have a restaurant on property which is supposed to be very good. Grand Tavern with Chef David Burke. There's a huge mirror there and an open ceiling. This is one of the rooms that make up the Grand Tavern, and just off of it is another room that's also part of the Grand Tavern. And here's the bar area. And just right by the hotel is Powell Symphony Hall, where the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra plays. And down the street about half a block is the Fox Theater.
Hey Stan, how do you say the name of this hotel?
Well, I've asked a couple of people and they said Angad.
Angad.
Almost like you're saying on guard when you're fencing. In the entryway are elevators that take you up to the 12th floor, which is where the hotel lobby, Chameleon Lounge, Angad Playhouse and Playroom, and the pit house with the Angad Rainbow Terrace. There's even art in the elevators.
Yeah, I have a happiness room. Yeah, I did.
Reception area off to the left. Hi, how are you doing?
Hi, thanks for coming all the way from Effingham.
You're welcome. Will you be in our video?
I will be in your video.
It's amazing, it's so unique. I'm like, oh
yeah,
my
this
God.
is great. You can sit here for 2 hours and not see the same scenery. Wow. So there is a rooftop terrace on the 13th floor. This is really nice up here. Rainbow Terrace.
Oh, look, there's the arch.
You can get an amazing view of St. Louis from up here. You can get a drink and sit here and just look out over the city. And off to the side are some restrooms, and there's a chalkboard there you can write on. And there's chalk right there for anybody to use to add to the art on the wall. Oh, that's sweet. That's us. And the light fixture is a cloud. And this is the reception area to the left as you get off the elevator. And this wall of clocks from places that you might not have heard of. Frankenstein, Missouri, Kissing, Germany, nowhere else, Australia. There's a little bar area here in the reception area. Games that guests can use. And some instruments on the wall. So you can just take those off the stand and play them if you want to.
Whatever you want with them.
That's incredible. We're going to see if we're able to see a room.
We have 146 rooms, so there's a lot of different types. All of our rooms are color coordinated, and basically they are to evoke, you know, a mood, because we are the first and only hotel in the world that allows guests to book rooms based on color of emotion. So right now we are on the 4th floor, which is the yellow room. So yellow is for happiness. There's this mirror right here that tells you where you are. Honestly, and everything that went into planning this entire hotel has been made by St. Louis artists, companies, and everything like that. So this is our medium double queen room, yellow. And all of the rooms have, you know, a different little, like, relic to, you know, evoke that emotion. So we have the whoopee cushion right here that I guess can actually take home. We don't get to keep them because obviously. And we have our headboard piece that was a custom commissioned artwork piece by a St. Louis artist, as well as the picture within the picture. So if you actually look closely, it's actually someone painted in the room itself.
How long did it take to do this then, since it's so unique and seems like
a while.
specific?
So I think the planning stages of this entire hotel took about 3 to 4 years.
So you opened in November, she said, of last year?
Yeah, November 1st. So the hotel itself came about, the idea of building a hotel was Angad Paul, who's a British businessman. He was very, very good friends with the CEO of the Lawrence Group, which is Steve Smith. So they were really good friends. Angad really, really liked St. Louis. So he had this idea and he wanted to build a hotel that there's never really, you know, they've never seen that before. They've never had that concept anywhere else. In 2015, Angad Paul passed away. Steve Smith was like, I need to keep this going. I want to make this, you know, in honor of Angad himself. So that's why we are called Angad Arts Hotel. And this way, so we are on a red floor. So this is our suite. We actually only have 8. We only have 1 on each floor. Okay. 2 of each color. People ask if the room has a tub, do I still get a shower? And you know, sometimes I'm like, yeah, that's a pretty reasonable question. So yes, there is. It's just around the corner. I love these rooms because of all of the window space. The view is beautiful, especially at night.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
So this was taken in one of the red rooms?
Yes, so that's actually
artwork.
digital, like, photography. I think sometime in the summer, last summer, they had a group of artists come in and they were like, what does this color mean to you? Stay in this room and see, you know, what you feel. Red rubber duck. Yes,
I know.
And that's a little special touch. So this is a man's eye, and then this is a woman's eyes. And they're actually hand painted. So the quirky little thing about our hotel is our lobby's on the 12th floor. The front of the hotel is actually in the back of the building. Everything's kind of flipped on its head just to, play with our guests in a sense. So they really wanted to have something that's very interactive and, catches all of your senses. Our grand suite is actually on this floor, and it's a green suite. So, so this is our biggest suite in the house. Wow. So this is a 2-bedroom, 2.5-bath suite.
So family can more than have enough.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of square footage up here.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
it's 1,400 square feet, which is why it sells for $1,400 a night. Yeah, the master bedroom.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Wow, and
Alex has a
huge
bathtub.
deep soaking
Yes.
tub.
And the little object in the room to evoke rejuvenation is the Himalayan salt lamp that's in all of the
So those are
green
very
rooms.
unique.
Yes. I think this one is my favorite artwork in the room, the green painting.
And again, the pillows are the
Yes.
same, the ladies on one side.
Yeah.
So that's in every single room.
Yes, that is in every single room.
And you said the pillows are for sale.
Yes, they are. Pretty much everything here is. Honestly, I think they're about 200. Yeah.
Well, because they're professionally done.
Exactly, and they're hand painted. I mean, feel them. They're like,
Oh, wow.
yeah, it's really, really good quality.
There's the arch right there.
Yes.
Right
Yeah.
outside your bedroom.
Yeah.
I know, this is probably the size of some New York apartments.
Yeah.
So you have a lot of charging ports right by the bed.
Yes. Yes. So this is what gets booked the most often. It's a medium room with a king bed. So this is what, you know, people come in, they stay for, you know, a couple nights, even one night.
Them into the box or something.
Exactly, exactly. Surprisingly, blue is actually our most popular color. You see the little Zen garden right there. And this one is for tranquility.
And the lighting is so unique.
Yeah, the Edison lamps, yeah.
Dimmable.
Yes, yes,
Nice.
yeah. And also there's like a reading light. I know a lot of people have questions about that. We have a reading light as well, right there.
So the minute you pull it up, it just turns itself
yes.
What room would you choose, Dawn? What color?
on. Oh gosh, I don't know. My favorite, I think, was the red.
She looks
But
good in red.
I go towards red.
Yeah.
Our whole kitchen's red.
Really?
Yeah.
Love that. So this building itself, I mean, it was built in the 1920s and it used to be an old theater. Oh, I feel like this setup makes more sense.
Yeah.
The most sense, yeah.
What it was meant to be,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly.
Appropriate, yeah.
Yes.
You do have some live entertainment too.
Yeah, they're trying to incorporate entertainment every day of the week. Yeah, there's just a bunch of different events.
You just have to watch the website.
Absolutely.
Saw a lot of interesting things on there, even like conversation with so-and-so, creatives.
Yes, Coffee with
Yeah.
Creatives is a really popular event.
Thank you, Isabella.
Yes, no problem. It was a pleasure meeting you too. You too.
St. Louis at night from the Rainbow Terrace is really beautiful.